Hello, beautiful stars, and welcome to another Bonestone Bash and our pre-orders. It wouldn't be a launch without the drum. Let me just drum for a little bit. Just drum for the sake of it.
Sorry for the delay.
I'm here with the enigmatic, salubrious Anaturian.
Enigmatic, oh my gosh. Anything but.
The happy mystery. And I do believe Anna has just come back from trick-or-treating.
Yes, we have, we're celebrating Halloween here. And it's
fabulous. In which case, I think we should say a happy Samhain or a merry or a sacred Samhain to those in your side of the world. Anna?
Yes, definitely. Happy Halloween, guys. Happy Samhain. Hope you're having a beautiful night, celebrating with all your loved ones. And thank you for joining us.
Exactly. Thank you. And to those in the north, bright, hot, merry Beltane, which feels very perplexing due to the fact that we are currently immersed in Halloween decorations and Christmas decorations simultaneously. It feels awkward. It's hard to find Beltane amongst all of that commercialism. But welcome. Right, so here's what we've got in store for you. Today is the day of the second pre-order. If you are a member of the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot group, then you will know some of the frequently asked questions, the links to my shop on Etsy where the link will be going live. The link will be going live at any point during this broadcast. We have a lot of stuff to cover today. We've got a lot of news in relation to the deck, a lot of showcasing of new decks, a little bit of a reveal or two or three or four or five, 6 or 7 or 8. Some reveals anyways. And just to catch you up on where we are and where we're going. We also have a community decision to be made today. So keep all of this in mind. Now, before I begin the nitty-gritty, I wanted to say, I've got 2 red-hot, awesome moderators rocking the chat stream right now. Say a big hello and the warmest of welcomes to Alora Rain and Chase 2 Owls.
Thanks, Chase and Alora, for helping us. I think we'll need it.
They're rocking a good space right there at the moment, and I appreciate their help with all of that. If you have questions, they are going to filter the questions, and if there's any question that is absolutely burning and crucial, they're going to flag me. They're going to flag me in some way, and that's why I have my device here. Oh. I should not have looked at my phone. It's a surprise, Alora. It's a surprise. Okay, so I listed some frequently asked questions this morning because I have received more questions regarding the deck, the launch, the manufacturing, the structure, the weight, the postage. Oh, fucking, you would not believe how many questions I've got. And I'm talking across platforms here. So I have managed to condense them and I wrote them up in the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot group just to save a bit of time and to have it solidly written there somewhere. Now, I do want to emphasize that today's listing is not the limited edition. That is one of the questions that I have been getting repeatedly. The limited edition sold out in like 15 minutes. There was only 79 of them, 78 of them. 78. There was only 78. And they were original artist sketches. So there's only one original artist sketch per card in the tarot. There's 78 cards plus the 9th being the Barusha card, which is mine. That's mine. So that's it. You know, once they sold out, they've sold out. So this is the standard listing. The standard listing is the deck itself plus the book plus the box. So deck, book, box, the package all together. Okay, so that is what the 80 Australian dollar listing is for. So two things that I want to say is, if you are asking postage and handling and price in your currency, Etsy will do the conversion for you. I cannot do that conversion for you. And that conversion is something that you're going to have to seek out for yourself. If you are purchasing from a country that is not listed in Etsy, don't be nasty about it. Just write me a message and say, hey, my country's not there. And guess what? I will list your country for you. I have had to manually list each individual country that are there. At present, there's 42 countries listed there. I do believe there's 42 countries listed there. I think, unless it's 34 countries, I'm not sure. But there's a lot, and I've had to manually input all of the postage and handling details in there manually by myself. I've had to individually look up each country code through Australia Post, which is who I'm mailing through, and input that detail there, and then cross-check it because I'm dyslexic, folks. So numbers are a fucking nightmare for me. So I've had to be, that was a really tedious job. So I appreciate the fact that I put a lot of effort in there. And if your country isn't there, that's okay. Just message me and I'll input your country's details in there. I'm getting all my prices from Australia Post, which is our Australian Postal Service. Okay. So there's that. What else am I missing, Anna?
Oh, okay. So I will have to say this. The deck will not be listed at all on my Etsy page, on my Etsy shop. So as some of you know, I have my own decks that I've created, and those I sell on my Etsy shop. This is Avalon's deck. I am helping her illustrate it, but I am not, the sales will go through her Etsy shop. I'm not taking a bunch of decks and putting them up on the US Etsy shop because it's not my deck. So yeah, it's so, because I know a lot of people have been asking me if I'm going to sell some decks or have some for sale on my shop, and that's not going to happen. So if you do want a deck, don't wait for me to list it on my Etsy shop because it's not going to be there. So you have to go to, unfortunately you have to buy directly from Australia because we don't have distributors everywhere else, you know. Well, you never know in the future, right? But
we may
right
mass
now,
produce. If we mass produce, and I don't even want to think about that. It's not even something that I'm thinking about. But that's it. So all decks will be available in my Etsy store. There won't be any secret decks anywhere else, unless, of course, there's some people out there buying 5 of them and then they're hocking them off on their own, you know, websites and that. Totally fine with that. Don't care about that. Just don't care. Like, you do what you got to do, you know. But it's not going to happen. I haven't opened up to agreements with any other plays, any other country, any other Etsy seller, YouTuber. No, that hasn't happened. This is essentially an Australian created product, and there's not too many of us creating decks out of Australia. Blue Angel creates a lot of Oracle decks. They're a company though, but individuals, there are very few decks that are independently published, and the individuals like myself are creating. There's stacks in the States, stacks of you. I should move there just to partake in that awesomeness. Lots and lots coming out of Europe as well, but Australia doesn't have that many, so don't rob us of that, right? Please. We're really enjoying it at the moment. So with that said, I'm thinking, oh yes, another big question is the weight of the deck. The weight of the package, so deck plus book plus box. Let me emphasize that. Deck, book, box, all in a little, wrapped up together in something like, of course I can't find anything right now, but let's just imagine this is it. Let's just imagine this is not what it's going to look like, but this is the entire package. There's a deck in there, there's a book there, there's a box. It's not going to be any loose componentry, right? That will weigh almost 1 kg. We've
We're
got
assuming
a sturdy box coming.
It depends on how many pages you write and how thick that book is going to be.
Yep, that's exactly right. So we have estimated the cost to be, well, we have estimated the weight, not the cost. We've estimated the weight on a 300-page guidebook, a 70 or an 80 card deck with the extra card plus the, you know, the, what do you call it, the title card. And so that's an 80 card deck plus the book and then plus the box itself. That will weigh almost 1 kilo. The price of Australia Post is for 1 kilo. So combined shipping is not going to be possible unless I climb up to the 5 kg, because here in Australia, you get the options of posting 500 grams, 1 kilo, and then lo and behold, you have to jump up to 5 kg. Apparently they don't believe in going halfway because they're morons. And I can't be held accountable for that. Postage costs are outside of my control. I wish it wasn't like that. I know that it deters people from being able to participate in the purchase. That makes me sad as a creator, but it is out of my hands. There's nothing, absolutely nothing I can do. And yes, I have looked at independent courier services, and they're no different in price because they're going from Australia to some obscure part of the US or Canada or Europe. In some cases, it's even more expensive. So it seems that postage companies and freight companies, etc., here in Australia are much better at dealing with eBay than they are any other kind of e-commerce. And I'm not an eBayer. I don't have an eBay store. I have an Etsy store. So let's just move on from that before I get a little bit irate, because that one is a sore topic for me. So yes, the deck is going to be 400 GSM cardstock. Now, let me tell you, we have had a minor issue with our potential printer. We had locked in a potential printer. People in the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot group know this. My contact at that printer, she withdrew from that printing company and moved to another one. I have been in contact with her for another one, but for a while there I was like, well, I have to look for another printer, and I still don't know if I'm going to print with her through this other company. I'm looking at all of my options at the moment. But let me tell you, we, as in Anna and I, predominantly Anna for this one, and you'll know why in a second, we contacted an eco-printing service in America. Anna, would you like to tell them the cost of that service?
Yeah, it was, so I called the printer. One of the printers is actually, it's in New York. And so I figured I'd call them since I'm in the time zone, and spoke with them on the phone. And this was just like, you know, they didn't give me a written thing, but after telling them, you know, that we're looking at, color for the book, the cardstock, the box, and everything, the price that he estimated was anywhere between 60 to 100,000. Yeah. Dollars, US dollars.
To 100,000 US
I was
dollars.
like, what? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
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 And that's for like, if you did, I think it was like 2,000 decks or something like that. Obviously they want you to print more, so the more you print, the cheaper it is. But even if you print, say, 5,000 or 10,000 decks, I mean, you're looking in the $40,000-$50,000 range. Yeah.
Yeah. it was astounding. And so we've been ringing around trying to get those prices locked in. Thankfully, though, tarot community is awesome. I've had lots of people like Ethany and Chris Ann and the beautiful Julian Wild from the Naked Heart Tarot, Anna herself, like we've all been sort of pooling our resources together. I've had recommendations coming from different people, Gabby Angus West, the creator of the Bonefire Tarot. You know, this has given me the opportunity to get to know people at a, you know, on a better level, to get to know a little bit more private sort of interactions with their decks. And for those who have chosen to open up that information with me, I'm infinitely grateful, because it just makes all the difference, because people can be very tight-lipped about their printing services, and I can understand why. It's a personal thing. There are some people that don't want to be judged for printing in China, even though China offers extremely good printing and, you know, a much cheaper product on a whole because of their cheaper printing costs. And that means that the cost per deck can be driven down for you. Otherwise, you have, you know, boutique printers and eco-friendly printers that want to charge you the price of, you know, luxury cars, multiple luxury cars, and for decks. So imagine the price of a deck if I went through one of these more closer to home, you know, eco-friendly options, which I would love to do. I would love to go eco-friendly, but if that eco-friendly at the moment, that eco-friendly mark looks like it's going to be the difference between me printing a deck and not printing a deck. So I'll print a deck, but I won't be able to go eco-friendly. And if I had my heart set on eco-friendly and was not settling for anything else, then I would never print a deck, because I would never be able to afford to, because I could never charge such an exponential amount of money for a tarot deck to anyone. I would feel awful and it would just be unrealistic. So please know that that's what's going on in the background. That's the thing, right? So right. Any other bits and pieces? Any other commonly asked questions from your end, Anna?
Yeah, mostly I just keep people just want to know if I'll have the deck in the shop, and yeah, so that's not gonna happen. No.
Also,
not that it's gonna be a beautiful deck, but you know, this is Avalon's baby. She will get
my baby, guys. It's my baby.
Play with the
baby. I also wanted to say that I've gotten a lot of custom orders for the deck. I have at present, this is just to give you some perspective, I have in the vicinity of 600 custom orders. I'm not verifying custom orders for the deck. There is no custom order to be made for the deck. The deck is stock standard. No adjustments will be made, none whatsoever. It is printed in a factory. I can't adjust that. That's the way that it is. To add extra edging to it costs more money. Don't even know if the printer can do it. You know, that's neither here nor there. Make them bigger, make them smaller, make them skinnier, make them shiny, make them matte. You know, make them, you know, 300 GSM so they're not so thick to shuffle. These are all questions that I have received. There will be no custom order. If you have sent me a custom order, I appreciate you even entering into contact with me. I appreciate the support. I love the fact that you guys are so behind this. It is an absolute dream come true, and I appreciate it with the bottom of my heart. But there is only so much I can do. I am a creator, as is Anna. I have a vision for this deck. I have an idea in my mind of what I want to achieve, and I'm very close to achieving that. And I'm not going to disrupt that idea for 1 or 2 or 3 people's personal tastes, okay? And another thing, I love that you guys are sending me your ideas for the cards. I'm not going to say anything bad about that. I just flat out love it. I love that you guys are so into it. There have been people out there who have emailed ideas or messaged me or Anna an idea for the card after we have created a card, and that idea has been that good that we have used a good chunk of it in the creation of cards. So we are listening to what you are saying, and we are changing, and we are adapting, and we are, you know, infusing your energies and your ideas and your thoughts into the deck in the only way that we can, because beyond that, everything is structured and everything is locked down. It will be matte. It will be 400 GSM. There will be a book. There will be a box. It will not be glossy. It will not be edged. It won't be these things that I've been consistently asked. It will be what it is. And I can't guarantee anything beyond that. You know, if the time of printing comes, even that is going to present itself with a few challenges. I know that I have been warned that, you know, samples have come back to creators, and it's been terrible samples, and they've had to reconfigure everything. This is a reality. You know, we've approached printing services as well in the States. Anna would know more about this, and the dimensions of their cards have been bigger or wider or longer, or, you know, whatever. How would you sort of describe that, Anna?
Well, some printers have a standard, I mean, they have their own size for the tarot deck, and we are trying to keep it as a regular size tarot deck. And if we go to some printers that change the size of it by, even if you increase it, say by 1/2 inch, which is what, like a centimeter or you know, width, everything, all the art has to kind of adjust to that. So we've presented the cards to you guys as we're showing them to you on the Facebook page. When you see the cards, that's how they will look. So if we were to go with that, and that means that they would change, like they wouldn't, you know, some things would be cut off. And so we're trying not to do that, because the standard tarot deck is, I believe, 2.75 by 4.75, something like that. So we're, you know, it's like a US standard US games card. And some printers go wider or longer. Like the Pagan Other Worlds is longer. It's bigger, taller, I guess. So we're just taking all these things into account.
That's it. Yeah, so it's a lot of behind the scenes work. Like, you know, I didn't know how much work it is, and, you know, and Anna had she's got so much knowledge, but even beyond that, you know, where she's printed and what she's done with her decks is still different to what I'm doing with this one, and how more on how I'm printing with this one. And so uncharted territories. It's
I don't have my decks because I can't write. So everybody's like, do you have a book? Do you have I can paint, but I can't write. Well, I mean, I can write, you know, but I can't write a book. I'd have to hire a writer. And then I'd have to up my price. You know, I'd have to up the price of the decks if I do that. So
that's exactly right.
It's like a whole circle, right?
The reality of it. The moment you have to include somebody else in the process, you know, you pay them for their services, that goes into the cost of the deck. I do not for one second regret choosing Anna as my illustrator, because quite frankly, she's the best illustrator in the history of the world, in my humble opinion.
Thank you.
And she has made my deck what it is, and it's so beautiful. And she is more than entitled to be compensated for the wonderful, outstanding efforts that she has put into that deck. But that goes into the cost of the deck as well. And so people are like, why is the deck so expensive? And I'm like, because it is so good quality. It's fine art. It's fine materials. It's big books. It's not something that will be mass produced and that you can get off the shelf because there's, you know, 100,000 of them made. You know, this is an indie published deck. You know, a lot of love, a lot of attention to detail, it goes into this. And, you know, and that's across the board to all my colleagues that are also creating their own independently published decks. So much energy, so much effort, so much attention to detail, so much to consider rolls into this. And, you know, cost is always a thing. It's always going to be a thing. If postage was better, the cost of the decks would be lower. That's all I can say. And it's not. It is what it is. So moving on. I think we've laid down that you know, that, well, I don't even know. We've just shared that information and disclosed a fair bit and set a tone. So we're going to move into the revealing of. Oh, I just had an idea. I have my bell here, right? So, is that a horrible sound? That's going to be my little notification of when the readings go live. I'm a person who loves surprises. I love to like to create anticipation. It's just in my nature. I'm a child. I'm actually a child inside. So that will be happening. Anna's got wine, and I wish I had wine. Oh my God.
You saw me? I'm trying to be discreet about it.
Don't be discreet. It's sour in your end. You should be like, no. You should be drunk.
Well, because I'm going to have to draw, so I have to be somewhat coherent in my thought process, right?
Oh my gosh. All right. Well,
okay.
How about we begin with an old-fashioned walkthrough? Anna's going to walk through the deck right now. I'm thinking about making a cup of tea while she does the walkthrough. So she's going to show you every card that we have created, except for the last 3, Anna, except for the recent creations.
Okay.
3.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't show the 3.
I'm not gonna analyze every single card because we have a lot of cards. So
yeah.
Some I will, but some I won't. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the majors. Okay.
That's it. I think it's just hold up the cards and go. This is the Magician. This is the Empress, at least so they can see, because it might be a little difficult for them to discern which is which card. And that's about as much as we'll go. I'm going to go and make myself a cup of black tea with a dash of milk for anyone who cares. And it's going to be Yorkshire.
That sounds more healthy than what I have here. Okay.
Yeah, right. Well, I've got a bottle of wine right underneath my tea stack, so I'm going to be like, it's going to be a choice.
Great.
All right. To you, Anna.
Okay. So I'm going to go through the majors first, and then I'll try and read some of the comments if you guys have questions. And I'm going to try and center the, let's see how it was. Okay. All right. So here we have the Fool, the first card. This is the Fool. And some of you have, I'm going to get my screen a little larger. Okay. Okay. How's the lighting on this? Let's do it this way. That's a little better. Okay, so this is the Fool, and yes, she's entering this this tree. Very mystical, right? Okay, this is the Magician. Okay, let's move this like this. Okay, the High Priestess. And I mean, you see this. These are the actual paintings, but they'll be cropped a little bit, so you can actually see the cards online better, how they will look. The Empress. With the giving birth to cornucopia. This is the Emperor. It's kind of hard because I can't see what I'm showing you, so I hope I have it centered. That's the Emperor. I'm going to zoom in a little. This is the Hierophant. This was the first one that I did for Avalon, hence the smaller page. Then I switched to larger paper, so that's why this is the smallest one. But this is the Hierophant. The Lovers. This is the Chariot with the Gypsy Caravan. And there's only one horse because with a caravan, with a Gypsy Caravan, you can't run. Your house is literally in this caravan, so you can't gallop through the streets. You have to guide the horse carefully and know what you're doing. This is Strength. And you have all the animals around. And this is one of the cards that you guys actually helped out a lot with. We chose the animals together, and I think it came out pretty well. I'm trying to zoom a little. So that's Strength. This is the Hermit. And these are all done in watercolor. So it's pen and ink and then watercolor. Okay, this is the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm trying to give you guys an idea of what you'll be getting, right? For the weavers. This is a Justice card. This is the Hangman as Odin as the Hangman. And you have the runes, the blood drops are forming the runes. This is Death. There's a skull. You can see the skull forming. So we're trying to introduce some of the, the bone aspect throughout the deck. This is the Temperance, where you have this hourglass, and within it you have the water kind of mixing in and forming a little plant. You have the hand, the tree branch hand, and then the bone hand at the top, kind of holding this hourglass together. No, it doesn't. Caden Matthews. No, it does not spell. It's the runes for the Hangman were the drawn in the order that they were revealed to Odin when he saw the runes. Okay, this is the Devil card. Sorry, my hands are, I don't have shaky hands, but it's, when you're kind of moving, you're holding the paper, it never is fully steady. And she's holding a heart with serpents. She's dropping coins that are forming into the pomegranate. So we used a couple of mythological elements here. So you have the pomegranate from Persephone, the myth of Persephone. And then this is not Medusa per se, but there are elements from Medusa. So, I had a lot of people asking that. Okay, so brace yourself. If you have any kids around, please move them aside because I'm going to show the Tower. And I know this is one of the cards that is a little hard to handle. So this is the Tower. And this is the trapped bald eagle. And no, it has nothing to do with the US. Just stating that. Okay. Continuing from the Tower card, you have the release of the eagle through the Star card. Here you see the eagle bursting out of, this is like a Native American man. The chains from the eagle from the previous card that you saw are broken. So now you have the release through the Star, the hope. Yeah, it's not dead. The Tower card, the eagle was not dead. Okay, here's the Moon card. And these are lunar moths that are kind of coming off her hair. She is surrounded by a cast circle. And this is the Sun card. And you have this maypole kind of dance going around here. This is a maypole, and they're actually taking in the sun rays and weaving those around. This is the Judgment card. The Judgment card is about initiation. You're transitioning to a different phase. And it's not necessarily about this particular card. The way it's depicted is not judgment in the terms of Christian judgment. This is more of an internal evaluation of your past doings and how you move forward. This is the World card. And the World card, you have the tree, this massive tree with its roots, and they are all colored in the chakra colors. So we're including all the chakra colors. Okay. And then this one, let's see. This one at the top. And then the last card that we have included, that we didn't include before, this is the Bruxa card. This is our little gift to Avalon. This is the squirrel card for the deck. This is indeed Avalon. We have depicted Avalon in the deck. She was not aware of this. It was all Laura, Chase, and I. We we did a number on her. So this card was introduced. It just came about, and she's holding the Temperance card. She has the little jars in the background. Okay, and now we're moving through. Now we're going to move to the Suit of Swords. So that was the major arcana. Now we're going into the Swords card. Yeah, the cards. Ace of Swords. So our Ace of Swords is combining thought, which is the pen, the mind, and the feather, which is air. So we're combining the element of air with the power of thought and the sword. So you have the sword hilt, the pen, and the feather. This is our ace. Two of Swords. And then you have the Two of Swords where this woman is at a crossroads. She has a witness as the raven, and she is divining which way to go with the pendulum. She does have a baby behind on her back, but that is not the most essential part of the card. It's the fact that she is making this choice. She's at a point where she's deciding which way. The Three of Swords. The Three of Swords, traditionally depicted as three swords piercing a heart. Here we have a heart that is a charred heart. The ashes are flying off, and this hand that is holding it, it has like a little bone ring here. But the important part is that through this process of disintegrating, there is something that is being created here. So any type of emotional death, or I guess destruction in a sense, this is air. So keep in mind, this is not cups, this is not emotion, this is mostly mind and thought. So this process of destroying a thought pattern and emerging something new. And this is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords. Well, if you know the four, he's resting usually on a sarcophagus. There's like the person that's asleep on, or lying down or something like that, with a suspended four swords. Here we chose to do a little different take. And this is an ice, like a lake, a glacier lake, I believe. That's what they're called. We have like the ice around, and he's, this idea that he is taking a break. Right here you have the horse, the sword, and he has discarded his armor. So he is taking this moment for himself to process things, to think about things. Okay. Five of Swords. Five of Swords. And this is, we've labeled this guy here Peanut usually. But you can see that he is being knocked down, kicked down by a more forceful individual. He is dressed in peasant's clothes, and this act of the winning aspect from this guy is really not that fair, right? Peanut. Okay. Six of Swords. Usually you see it, the boat that's moving forward. Here, the same thing. We do have the boat, and she is, where it actually, it's not a woman. It's more of a genderless person, because we wanted to keep it genderless. You do have the beads in her hand, and the eagle type ship that's crashing into this tumultuous sea. And also there is a compass that's kind of coming in the sky for direction. Okay, this is the Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords, this devious individual going towards this little town. There's a scroll in its hand, the person's hand. So the intention, there's a double intention here, obviously, not a very nice one. Seven of Swords. Laura, I don't make them fast. No, takes time. Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. She is standing in a field of cherry trees. And the reflection, so this card, you see it as she is bound, I guess, and surrounded by swords where she can't escape, right? That's the Rider-Waite. In our version, the reflection in the lake is that of the inner child that is surrounded by the Eight of Swords, yet she stands tall. There are runes that are inscribed on the mountaintop. Okay, Nine of Swords. This is the Nothing. So the Nine of Swords is about fear, and you know, that aspect would you have to get to everybody, right? Something that can speak to everybody across cultures. So this is that beast that doesn't really have, you don't know what it is, but you know it's a beast. Is it going to get you? Is it attacking? Is it not attacking? So we're playing around with that. Okay, another card that you might want to move your kids away from, seriously. I didn't even let my kids see this card. They actually saw it about a week ago, and just say that. All right, so this is the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords shows a fallen soldier. His sword is still in his hand. His helmet has fallen, and he is being devoured by ravens. In the distance, you do see heads on stakes, and there is also a body in the background. So this is the pretty gory Ten of Swords. The next one we have is the Page of Swords, where we are doing this idea. We're taking the feather from the ace, and we are showing it inside the page, because he's mastering, at this point, he is mastering the Ace of Swords. He's not the king yet. And here we have Merlin with books flying around, and because he's using his magic, right? The background, the walls are starting to disintegrate. There's a lot of things going on, but he's very focused on that feather. this is the Knight of Swords, where we have Athena, and she is on a winged horse, and the owl, the white owl, is in the background. She is ready for battle. She is totally coming at you. So that's the Knight of Swords. This is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is the Morrigan, and she is very determined, but she's not striking. She's holding the skull and also the sword. She has the wings, the raven wings, and also the raven skull. So that's the Queen of Swords. And the King, the last of the swords, is the King of Swords, King Arthur, with a sword. And I'm going to hold these three up a little bit so you can see the progression. We actually are doing something here. So we're going from, we're zooming in, folks. We're going from the page where you see things, you see the environment, you see everything that's around. Then you're getting a little closer with the Knight. Then you're going even a little more up close with the Queen, and you're fully zoomed in at the King. So that is the suit of swords as we have it right now. Moving on to the suit of cups. Let me just set these here. The suit of cups starts off with the blood moon. The blood moon with the reflected on the surface of water. Oh, and something that I should have mentioned for this suit of swords, the backgrounds, the skies in each suit will be consistent throughout the entire suit. So the suit of swords had mostly this cloudy, bluish aspect. The suit of cups will have tones of red, pink, and purple in it to be consistent throughout the suit of cups. So this is the Ace of Cups. Right now, I'm getting a little bit of a reflective from the light, but it's pitch black in the card when you look at it online. This is the Two of Cups, where you have the two people coming together to form, and you have like the soul spark. Their heads are touching, so you have the soul spark. Throughout the entire suit of cups, you will have the presence of the moon in each card in different phases. And that's the cups, the Two of Cups. This is the Three of Cups. Again, you see this pink purple background sky. It's taking place at sunset. You have three women dancing around, and you have the moon. Okay, so now we have the four that to reveal. The four was revealed online, but not in chat. The Four of Cups, the 5, 6, and 7 of Cups to reveal. Avalon, do you want me to do that right now, or do you have something to say? No? Okay, so I'll move on. You muted yourself, but I can see you said no. Hold on, just
good lip reading.
1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. Emma, I need you to go to bed right now. Please. My daughter is. It's 10 p.m. here. She has school. Okay. Sorry. Bound to happen, right? Close the door, Emma, please. Emma, Inkideusha.
Inkideusha. Such a delicious language. My God.
Right. Sounds mean. Okay. All right. I'm going to move with the, okay, so the Four of Cups you guys saw online. This is the Four of Cups, where he is in his boat. You have this individual. He's full of these Minoan markings, and he doesn't really care that there are plenty of fish out there that want to jump into his boat. He is content with his catch, and he does not really care for more. So this is the Four of Cups.
Yep, he's bored as fuck, that one. He's
All
like,
right.
come at me, fish. And then he doesn't even care.
They're like jumping at him, right? Okay, so now when we did the chat last time, we got off chat and we just flipped the cards around. So we still have an elephant and we still have an old man. So
It happened organically. Literally what happened is we got off that chat and we just started to laugh because it took us so long. It took us so long to get there. No cards have taken us that long to get there. And yet it took us for ages. And so as we finished up that live cast, we just sort of like slumped into laughter. And Anna says, we should have done this. And I just stopped and went, where the fuck was that in the middle of that chat? And she's like, it just came into my head. And I'm like, that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. That it was there the whole time, but we were Four of Cups singing.
right. And we were not drunk, I have to tell you. We were not drunk. Just like we were struggling with that card. Anyway, here is the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups, we decided to have an elephant that is overseeing this field of tusks, and within his trunk, he actually is cradling one. In the background, you see there's like a dark moon with just a sliver of the outline of the moon. And the card will actually be trimmed right about here. So you're going to see this section of him. So this is the Five of Cups. Traditionally, you see the guy that's crying over the cups, right? Okay.
It's very sad.
All right, the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups, usually you have, just families either getting together, coming together, old and new, right? It's about memory, remembering. And so we're still using the old man, but he's not sad. He's coming, he's greeting you. He's greeting either, it depends on how you want to look at it. Either he's greeting you, the viewer, or he is greeting his lost love, but he is holding a bouquet of forget-me-nots.
So cute. Isn't he the sweetest face? Oh, such a sweet face.
So that is the Six of Cups. And the last one.
Right? Caden Matthew just says, it's Heidi's grandpa.
Okay. So the Seven of Cups. The last one is the Seven of Cups that we have painted out for today. This is the Seven of Cups. And you have this merchant that is beckoning you to come and, he's sneaky.
Sample his ways.
So do not trust this merchant. Let me just preface with that. This card usually is about dreams that are not really real, and castles that are built in the air. And this card is telling you usually that this is not something that you should trust. So here is the Seven of Cups.
Lift it up a little bit, Anna.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Zoom a little.
Doesn't he look rad?
That's what we have for the cups, but
we did this thing. We did this thing that we're pretty proud of, and we hope no one's upset with us about. But we kind of conceptualized the remainder of the suit, so we have a solid idea all the way to king. All the way to king. So essentially, it's just got to be painted. The idea is locked down. Tiger's Abyss would buy from the Seven of Cups.
No, don't buy from him. It's bad. He's the one who would be selling you pirated decks.
He's the pirated deck dude. He's the one that's doing the bootlegging.
I not want to buy decks from him.
And they're shonky quality. So yes, we have conceptualized the remainder of the suit, and it happens really organically because I believe I called Anna and I had the idea for the 7 because I had this vision moment, waking twilight dream thing, and I went, oh, that would be so good for the 7. I wasn't even thinking the 7, it just sort of came, and so I explained it to her, and she's like, no, that will work. And then in the process of that conversation, she says to me, oh, I've got an idea for, the 8. What was it for the 9? Did you have an idea for the 9? Oh, no, for the 8.
It wasn't like solidified yet. I had an idea for the 9 of Cups, right?
Yeah. And then I had an idea for the 8. She told me I've got one for the 9 and I've got one for the 8 as well. And then between us, we just and next minute it's like Neptune's going to be king. That's where we reached. So we have the court sorted out as well. And I don't know if I want to tell you too much about it, but
did you want to tell them the court cards?
Yes. Do you want to hear our concepts? Would anyone like to hear the concepts that we've created? Feel free to say no. We won't if you don't want to hear it. If you want it to be a surprise, there's certain something in the as an element of surprise. I like to be surprised. My daughter doesn't. We're very different people. Do you like surprises, Elda?
Me? Yeah. I do. I actually do.
Let me preface this by saying I like good surprises. Yeah. I don't like the baby on the doorstep. I'm like, surprise. I'm like, open up my door, baby on the doorstep. Oh, well, no, stalked. No, that's not my kind of surprise. Of course. Tell us. Yay. Okay, that's about enough confirmation. All right. Anna, you've got it written in a list, haven't you? Above your head somewhere.
Yeah, because you know me, I have to write everything down. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I won't be, guys, I'm not looking like I'm praying. I'm just reading off my thing. All right, so you want me to go through all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the 8 of Cups, we have Morgane Le Fay going to Avalon. She is in the water, holding a lantern, looking this way or backwards, and behind her is a boat, the boat that she came in with. There is mist in front of her, so you'll get to see this person. You get to see her kind of waist up. There's going to be water here, and she's going to be holding this lantern. So that's the 8 of Cups. The 9 of Cups. This is the one, so we kind of mixed the ideas together. So the 9 of Cups, usually you have the guy, the cups behind, very proud, very confident of the achievement, right? a little bit of an ego boost there. So because of that, we went with a depiction of a tribal woman. She is crouched, but she has this peacock
plume.
Yeah, behind her, because the peacock is one of the proudest birds out there, right? When you see the peacock, it kind of like spreads its tail. You get this beautiful color palette behind. So, so she has this peacock. You can see the peacock feathers behind her. She's crouched. She's offering a cup, and from that cup is actually the eternal life cup. So the water within that cup will be like rainbow colored that she's offering to the people in front. So that is the 9 of Cups. Yes, it's the drunk chubby dude, Nikki Sparkle. Yeah, ours is not a drunk chubby dude. She's the peacock tribal woman with that she's proud of her achievements, right? And the 10 of Cups is, so you know how in the suit of swords we took the ace and we brought it in the feather. We brought in the feather to the page of swords. We brought that in. We're bringing in the Ace of Cups into the 10 of Cups. So we're using the blood moon. We're creating a cup. Half the cup will be the image of the blood moon. Obviously, it'll look like a cup. So it'll be a blood moon cup. But it will be grounded, because at this point throughout the suit, right, you reach the 10 of Cups, your emotions are more grounded. And so we're going to be using the herbs, protection herbs, to symbolize the grounding. So the cup will be surrounded by protection herbs. So that'll be the 10. The Page of Cups is represented by Kuan Yin. The Knight of Cups will be the Lady of the Lake, and she will be swimming in the lake. So it's kind of an underwater scene, kind of swimming towards you. You're going to be seeing a little bit of this sky, pinkish sky throughout the water. The Queen of Cups is Imanja, and the King of Cups will be Neptune. So that's the suit of cups.
Yep. Yep. So there's Alora's killing off babies in the chat. And Christina D is saying no. What caught my eye.
Don't let the baby die. Christina, what baby are you talking about? Not letting babies die.
We're not killing any babies, and no babies were killed in the making of this deck. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. All right. So that's the concept for the remainder of the suit of cups. So they're trying to give me a baby. Chase doesn't like kids. It's not in his life path to have babies, just so you all know. So I speak
just for that, Dave, I want to send you one of those little babies, robot babies that you have to take care of. They will wake you up in the middle of the night every 2 hours, and you have to feed it.
Oh my gosh. I can see his face, and I can hear his voice in my ears. All right. Well, I thought now would be a good time for me to read you a very rough draft of a snippet of the book. So I have chosen the Magician card. I'm not even looking at the chat. You guys are making me laugh. It's so funny. I'm going to read a snippet of the Magician card just for you guys to get a flavor. Now, just know this is the rough outline. I've got lots of rough outlines for each of the cards down. There's details that are missing that are crucial to the story, but you'll see what I mean anyway. So I'm just going to switch screens so that I can do this. Alrighty. So are we all familiar with the image of the magician? We know our magician, he looks like Gandalf. He's holding the egg. It's stunningly beautiful, right? And he looks like the wizard. So we're cooling down some of that wizard energy. So here's what I've got. Okay, the magician. In the Bonestone and Earthflesh, his name is the Grey One. His elemental attributes are earth and air. Astrological component or correspondence is Mercury, Kabbalistic letter, Beth. Stone attributed to him has not been chosen, nor has his green world ally. So there will be a stone chosen for each one, as will there be a green world ally. So a botanical of some description. And you'll be able to, if you wish, and this is for all you witches and shamans out there, you'll be able to connect with the essence of the card a little more deeply if you have that stone and if you have that herb. If you burn that herb and meditate with that stone in association with the deck, it's just an extra layer to provide you with a much more spiritually interactive experience, brought to you by yours truly. Alrighty, so the essence is power, will, flow, skill, manifestation, adaptation. I don't think I need to go there with that one. You guys are pretty familiar with the essence of the magician. But here we go. We have a narrative. Let me come closer. They call him the Grey One, a designation which echoes his antiquity. He sits, as he has done many times before, in his dimly lit chamber, working meticulously on his newest creation. His focus is entirely on the sphere of colour which dances a subtle ebb and flow, bursting with a curious iridescent light before him. His room is lit by this sphere of light, which has begun to take the shape of a dragon. As he admires his work, his skilled hands channel the centuries of knowledge that course through his blood. He feels his power flow with ease. Now, yet, with fondness remembers a time when he was younger and his skills were infinitely less, and his knowledge, or lack thereof, made him foolish, egotistical, yet happy. The Grey One knows the importance of looking beyond the surface to see beyond the illusion. He sees that in truth the light which moves hypnotically before him does not come from his creation. No, he knows the light that emanates from that most sacred place, that most ancient place within him, a place that he knows with all of his being exists in every living thing. His features are softened, and age has graced his face, each line reminiscent of a memory, a teaching. He is a wise man, humble of heart, but mighty through reputation alone, a reputation which could never be captured by a little or no, I've lost that one. A reputation that cannot be captured as something so little as the many of stories told of him or by him. Yet here he is, working his craft, refining his skill, and about to release a dragon. And so I have here, when the magician appears in your reading, you are being called to closely examine the root of your dexterity and put it to good use. You have power in this situation, perhaps more than you might think, and only by harnessing the vast pool of resources at your disposal can you direct that power to assist you in achieving your goals. Focus is paramount in this situation, reminding you to apply your knowledge to constructive projects. The magician is a bold reminder that the world is your greatest source of wisdom. The magician is also bringing to you an awareness of the genuine power of creation, reminding you all the while that to truly harness your power requires an individual to relinquish the desire to control and to assume the role of the sacred bridge which channels spirit into matter, thus affecting genuine change. The magician may also be reminding you of a well of untapped power that is beginning to get restless. Ground and center often to avoid the build-up of restless energy. You may wish to indulge your creative side at this time in an active capacity. Reversed, when the magician appears in your reading, he is calling you to question your motives. You may have behaved rashly, channeling vast amounts of ego instead of wisdom. There is a cockiness to be contained here and an understanding that you do not know it all, nor do you have the capacity at this moment to act with a clear purpose while your emotions are high and your motivations questionable. There is potential destruction here. The magician reversed can also speak of those being called to the left-hand path, where a thirst for occult knowledge and a hunger for power are the current driving force. If this is indeed the case, then you are being urged to closely examine your direction at this time. The reverse magician can also be a sign of creative block in your life that is keeping you from accessing your power and affecting the way in which you affect change. Pay attention to that which afflicts you at this very moment, whether person, job, place, or thing, and seek to remedy that affliction. A keen eye is required here to effectively see beyond the illusion and straight to the crux of the matter. This will require you to channel your mental prowess into strong actions. Journal prompt: where is your source of power? What motivates you at this moment? Where in your body can you feel that power flow? Okay, that's it. That's my story.
Very
That's
cool.
all of it.
I want more. Let me proofread. Oh, just like, oh, not that I can edit in any way, you know. I'll draw a pretty picture and a smiley face, but that'll be my input.
So that's a little bit from the magician, and I've got to still refine it. As you can see, I was clumsy with my read because I've got little notes and little like footnotes and things of that nature. But each and every time I read the passages, more comes to me, and I've been told not to do that just yet. I've been told to wait and then go through it and then go through it, you know, to do it in a process and to make sure that my editors get it and they can make little adjustments before I turn one card into a whole novel. So, thoughts? Anyone's got any thoughts of what they believe should be added? I'm not doing audiobooks. I didn't even read the questions. I was reading straight off. I didn't read any comments. I was reading off my word processor. All right. So that is where we are at this moment in time. So that's a little snippet of the book. So you understand the structure of how that's going to be. There will be journal prompts. There will also be a stone. There will be a Green World ally. I'm going to put the numerology there at some point. A big shout out to Benabel who I approached the other day to say, hey, can you give me some resources? I need some extra resources on Kabbalah. I'm not interested in Kabbalah, but I want the resources to be able to write the book because I don't write things from an ignorant standpoint. And she's like, okay. And then she gave me one of her courses, and I didn't realize at the time that she had actually done that. And so it took me a day until I unzipped it on my phone because I don't have unzipping software. Ask Alora. She's like, fucking don't ask me to unzip anything else, bitch. Like, so I finally unzipped it straight off my phone to import into Kindle, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got this thing. I've got this awesome opening of the key. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And it's exactly what I need because I wanted the information quickly. I didn't want to spend hours and days and weeks and months digesting Kabbalistic knowledge. It's not my bag, baby. It's not my bag. So big shout out to Bwen. Yes, Alora's the techie. She for sure is. I'm like, can you do that to me? And she does it so fast. And I'm just like, thank God you are in my life. I feel the same way about Anna when I'm like, Anna, I've had a vision. I've had a dream. This man. And she's like, well, what's his orientation? And she quickly whips him up into a sketch and goes, sort of this. I'm like, it's exactly it. All these people that control my vision.
I'm present in your dreams. You know, I'm just hovering there.
She's just like, she's like the raven. And here's the thing, and this is one thing that I would like for you all to know. So with in correlation to the 7 of Cups, I did have a dream about that. I had that waking sort of moment, you know, dream situation. And I'm not a dreamer. I don't market myself as a dream weaver. I don't astrally travel through the night. I dream like, I sleep like a dead person, and I'm flat out if I get a dream. So when I do get a dream, it's a good one and it means something. And I always pay attention because they're so few and far between. Now, I, as an educated person, realize that everyone dreams. Few people recall their dreams, but I'm a mother of 3, so I get up through the night. So I don't actually attain the depth of sleep required to have a really good dream.
Totally get you. I totally get you.
So when I have them, I'm just like, boom, locked down. So that's my story, guys. So that's a really special card because it did come out of like a subconscious aspect of myself. So next we have the choosing of the next suit. That's where we're at. That's where we're at, is it?
Well, unless you want to open up the stuff, but
it'll happen. It's gonna happen. It's soon. It's so soon. Actually, I have to fidget around, so I actually have to fidget my little bits and pieces here. So Anna, do you want to put a poll out for?
Right. I don't know how to. I don't know how to do a poll. I'm not that tech savvy.
No, I mean we'll do the 1 for Pentacles, 2 for Wands, or
okay, all right,
or
okay.
1 for Wands, 2 for whichever one.
All right, guys. So
would be a Wands one.
We have to decide our next suit. So we still have 2 suits left. We have the suit of Wands and the suit of Pentacles. So we're gonna give it to you to choose whichever one you want. So what's it gonna be? 1 is Wands and 2 is Pentacles. Here, I'll write it down. Just show it on the screen because I have a feeling we're going to and please don't write the name Wands. Just put 1 for Wands and 2 for Pentacles, because I'm not gonna, it's easier to see it like that. Okay, so here we go. 1 is Wands and 2 is Pentacles. Okay. Well, I'm getting a lot of ones, so what's the matter? You guys don't like money, don't like the earth. Okay. It looks like, okay, it looks like Wands is winning. There's a couple, there's some 2s, but 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, all right, all right, all right, okay. All right, so we can do the suit. You will be heard, Laura. Yes, I see you, I hear you. I don't hear you, but I read you. Okay, now people are coming up with 2s. Okay, still the ones are winning, folks. The one is winning. Okay, so yeah, we won with Wands.
Oh wow, that was a landslide. What, you guys don't like money?
That's what I said. Like, they like cups.
You don't like resources.
Wands, you know, it's like it's the whole. Well, these are spiritual people, you know, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, fire, baby. Now, just so you guys know, we have created the Queen of Wands in this particular suit, and the Queen of Wands is reminiscent of Ilsa or Oya, which is an Orisha. There she is. Let me hold her up.
And she has a bone crown. Okay, so the wands, we said that the background of the wands is going to be more orange, yellow, not pink, purple. So we know that much, but we don't know anything else about it. We have 1 card done. So do we want to start brainstorming some aces for the wands?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually. I think we should start some brainstorming. If you were here at the beginning of the chat, you will know what that means. I'll do it again. One more time because it's Samhain.
Okay, one is wands and two is pentacles, but it looks like
wands, two is pentacles.
Yeah, one.
So
wands one.
Okay, so the ace.
Let's talk about the ace. How many of you like the fact that there's always the hand of Almighty
God
kind of come and offer you a grant?
That's not my bag, baby. That's not my bag. So
right. I always get jammed because of that. Because of always like seeing the hand. It's like, okay, you're giving me a branch. What do I do with it?
Yep. So. You're throwing me a bone. Where do I go from here? So with fire, with the ace, you're of course representing the quintessence of that element. So you're representing the quintessence of fire. So it in its raw state, ungrounded, malleable in its ether, in its thought processes. So the hope, the seed, the quintessence, the idea, the verge, it's all there in the ace. So we have already the Queen of Wands depicted with that. Can you show that Queen of Wands card again? I just want to get the fiery background.
Where would I put it?
There's a sunset thing going on, a sunset theme. There you go. There we go. So it's a little bit colors are cups, isn't it?
I'm going to pull out the where is it? No, I lost it. Huh. Where'd it go? I'm trying to bring in, okay, all right. So I'm going to give you an example of the cups versus the wands so you can kind of get a color sense here. All right, so this is the cups. This is wands. You can see that this is more orange and yellow. This is pink and purple, more pink and purple.
Yeah.
So our color scheme
have one. Yeah. So you have the sort of like the inky blue of the sky, you know, the deep red, the orange, and then the yellow as the sun is sort of setting. So you'll see a lot of sun energy. Just as you saw moon in the cups, you'll see a lot of sun and the presence of sun. So it's
I'm reading the ideas. So Nikki Sparkle, I did think about the volcano, but I remember seeing something similar with another deck. I just couldn't remember which one exactly. So I'm trying to steer away from anything that would be, you know, too close to other images and other decks. So I remember seeing something like that. But it's a good idea. And somebody probably took it. Alora had an idea. Where's Alora? Where'd you go?
She's everywhere.
Laura's everywhere. Something about a spark. No, I lost it.
Here we go. Embers, hot coals, singular flame in the middle.
That's a nice visual.
Yeah. I'm down with that visual. I'm also down with the shooting star.
And I had an idea.
A little bit more star card, a little bit more hopes and dreams. So I'm not going to push that one.
One of the ideas that I had was an egg, but it's actually a dragon egg. So you could see kind of through it. It would be like glowing, and could have like these really intricate kind of little design on top of it, and you can see inside the dragon, kind of the shape of the dragon. So that would be the potential, right? So the potential of something greater, something bigger. It's an initial spark.
That's it. I would also like to move to put in there that idea of the ember with a red belly black snake wrapped around the bottom of it and starting to very slowly like rise out.
So wait, you're seeing the egg with the dragon, and then there's a snake at the bottom kind of cradling the egg?
I'm seeing no dragon. I'm seeing the egg, the embers, that ember of potential creation, and then it's almost like emerging from it, but not really. It's more coiled around it is that red belly black snake, or even like a black mamba, which is neurotoxins, baby. Both are very poisonous. I feel like there should be a viper, red belly black.
From the embers. He is kind of in between the embers, or he's coming out.
Maybe he's transforming from the embers.
That's what I'm asking. Transforming from the embers? Because that would be cool. I like that.
Transforming. See, I took a little bit of yours. I was trying to go, maybe we should make the egg a skull. And then I thought, no, it's not the time.
See, I like that. I like the embers. I like that idea of the initial kind of.
What about, like, okay, so with that idea of embers, you know, we've all had the experience of seeing fireworks, right? So before the fireworks explode, one thing sort of like rises up before it's sort of like a little ember sort of rockets up to the top, and then goes. You know what I mean?
That when you see it live is very cool because you see the motion of it. But if you just show that only that in a card, that's not going to be very.
Yeah.
It's not going to be very exciting, even though it's the motion that kind of you know that it's coming. You know that it's coming, but you have a static image. It's going to be kind of hard to, unless you show the firework.
That's true. Yeah, but you don't have that. You don't have the preemptive firework to sort of really emphasize that. I get what you're saying. So
tigers.
The egg, kind of. Should it be cracked or should it just be a little bit open? I think a cracking.
Well, I was seeing like an egg, but having perhaps some markings on it, something, so it would be like, so it wouldn't just be like a plain egg. It would be like this. Hold on, looking for paper. And by the way, Tiger's Abyss had an idea of a salamander. I read it, but I'm like looking for paper. Sorry.
Where? Let me look. Salamander or a fire salamander, or a Kyoto dragon, Komodo dragon, Komodo, not Kyoto. Kyoto is the oil that I'm using right now. Komodo is the dragon.
So okay, so let me sketch because I can't write. So what you were saying all right. I'll draw what I was thinking, and then you can tell me if that's something.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds pretty good. I like the idea of serpent. I think we've used dragon already, and so serpent is really nice, especially because I've already chosen in my head the queen. Oh no, I haven't. No, not for that one. I'm thinking the other queen. I've already chosen the queen for the pentacles. It's very important that she be that queen. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I like the idea. I like that serpentine energy. The serpent has always been a symbol of divine creation. Here in Australia, we have the narrative of the rainbow serpent, so the creative serpent depicting the dream time. And there's so much mythology with that. It's Australian Indigenous or Australian Aboriginal mythology. But there's that creationist aspect. In a biblical sense, you've got the serpent, the snake, the apple tree, the temptation story, and that creates a world of its own, you know what I mean? So I feel that the serpent was also something to be feared in the oceans. In the dark ages, people would, fear those treacherous crossings because of, basilisks and things of that nature. And so the serpent has its place in occult mythology or in occult story, occult narratives and things of that nature. So it's definitely something that I would like to depict with the suit of wands with fire. And
Okay.
the chameleon, that's a nice idea too, the chameleon. Yeah.
Okay. Here, this is what
Quite poisonous enough.
You were talking about serpent, so I changed my idea because I just realized something. Okay. So you know how the back of the card, you have the infinity symbol with the
Yes.
right?
I'm familiar with the backs of the cards, yes.
That's the back of the card.
Ooh.
So you can have this is like the serpent, and the black stuff will be like the ash, the little spark ash stuff, and you can have this would be the egg, but inside you have this baby thing serpent. You can't see you can see through it. You can kind of see like the shadow of it, so you wouldn't see a lot of detail, but you can kind of see flame kind of coming out of its mouth, and then forming the back of the card.
What have you got around it? What's around it?
What's around it? Oh, the little what Laura said. Because I can't think of the word.
What did Laura say?
Embers.
Embers. Yeah. Perfect. That's a
That's just what idea. What else do we have?
And beautiful. We have a taipan style striking snake, all coiled, just with its mouth open. It's very predatorial, and it's not really an ace card because that depicts motion and strike. So I just wanted to say it because it sounded really cool, but it's not really.
I just had
something. You had a thought?
Yeah. And it's
it's far out.
Well, it could be, maybe. All right. So you know how the third eye is, you know the third eye.
Yeah.
But the idea in the Ace of Wands is that you have that initial spark of thought, of creative power that will kind of roll out throughout the entire suit of wands.
Yeah.
So it's that energy, which is kind of hard to depict since it's like it is all governed by fire. So you can either show a flaming bush or, but it's like it's that spark, But what I was thinking is, what if you take the idea of the third eye and transform that and incorporate, twist it around and use the same placement where the third eye would be, but you have the spark of the flame. So you'd have the flame, you'd have like a face, man or female, and then you'd have the flame, which would be the symbol of the spark, where the third eye would be. So that would be the ace, where the initial thought, the initial spark.
So that's fire. That also throws into sharp relief the sacral chakra, so the Svadhisthana chakra, which is the point of creation and the fire center. Something along that lines. But somebody wrote, who was it just then? Wrote the Ouroboros. The Tiger's Abyss wrote the Ouroboros, and I quite like that idea.
The Ouroboros, where is it? I lost it.
The snake eating its tail.
No, I'm trying to look. Didn't we do that? Do we have that at all? Okay. I'm trying to make sure.
A chameleon would be awesome. Moon wolfie.
And there's no other deck that does that has the snake eating its tail in one of these suits. I'm just because I know there's a lot like the Wild Unknown. I remember something. I'm trying to like, because I don't want to have that, what happened with the Four of Swords. So I'm trying to avoid that. But
you know what? I don't think what happened with the Four of Swords, like that was incredible because that card hadn't even been released. It's not even something that could have been in our mind for the sheer sake of the fact that she'd only just posted it. She'd only just finished it.
So the snake eating its tail.
The Ouroboros. Anyone know if the Ouroboros is in any decks? I'm just having a look at the Lumina and oh my gosh. There's some sexy people depicted in the
Nikki Sparkle says that Marielle has it on the back.
yeah, on the back. Oh, look at here. The world in the Lumina is an egg.
Well, there you have it. I don't even have that deck.
And I'm still looking because I think it's in one of these two. If it's in anywhere, I'm seeing it in one of these two styles of art. Folks, I know you've all got collections. Does that strike a chord? Does that ring a bell? Have you seen that? Death, that's the serpent crawling out of the skull there, which, you know, it's very lovely because it's a skull.
No, it's a nice idea, actually. I just want to make sure that
I am looking. Okay, so not in the Lumina, so maybe in the Wild Unknown.
the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal Oracle, Christina is saying.
Ah, I got that one here too. So I'll just have a quick look.
Thoth Oracle. It's in this Thoth deck.
This is a cool deck too, by the way.
Kelly's here. Hi, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly. Kelly from The Truth and Story is here, folks. She's coming off the back, or she's probably still recovering from her epic 12-hour marathon because she is cray. Oh, okay. So we've got the Ouroboros here as snake, just a snake,
Right.
though. So that's not in a representative capacity. Well, it is, but, you know, not in this type of representative capacity. Okay, so I've got one more deck to go through, and then have you Google searched at all, Anna?
What?
The potential Ouroboros?
To draw it, you mean?
Oh, look, the Wild Unknown, it's not really a snake. It's just a pattern that's on the front. That may be what people are thinking of. Got to split this up into a couple of piles. Ace of Pentacles, that's not the snake. There's some close ones, but there's no cigar here. Oh, F word. I wonder if there's a job where you just have to flick through tarot decks really quickly, because if there was, I'd be employable. That's the World card again. It's not, that's not a snake. It's just a pattern. There's no head to it.
I think if we do this the Ouroboros, we should change the do something to the snake.
Yes,
You know, give
absolutely.
some
It can't just be straight up.
right.
Mother of Wands. That's the Mother of Wands there.
Right.
So again, not the Ouroboros. Lots of snakes though in this
Would
deck.
it be so bad if the snake itself was like a okay, so hear me out. If it was a snake, but like the part of it was a fire, like it was like it would like turn, it would be like a snake, and then it goes, so it would morph from fire to snake as it's rotating, as it's eating its tail. So it's like this.
Yeah.
Have like an internal kind of fire that would continually fuel this.
Maybe it could be almost like a spiral. Like, hang on, let me find the places. It could be almost like a spiral. So imagine a little ember, like a little red hot ember. And from that ember, a little bit of smoke, and that's from that smoke a little bit of tinged color and a little bit of flame, and then a little bit of formed, and then the body of the snake, and then the what's the word, the grounding of that image, so it sort of like comes from a fading into a being, and then the head,
and it's eating its tail. It has to eat its tail.
Yeah, it would come around to eat its tail.
Okay.
With its tongue out. It has to have its tongue out, like about to hit its tail.
So would it be eating the where it's igniting from? Like, would it be trying to eat the spark?
Ignition point? Yeah.
Right. So it's coming back to the spark.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it has to have that dashing red background.
Right. The orangey thing. Sky.
That's it.
Okay. Do we want to do this two also, or are we just doing the one?
Let's do the two.
Okay.
Let's do the two. We were late, so we've got like maybe 10 minutes. We can do a two of wands in 10 minutes. This is fire. We should be able to move super fast through this one. We could actually have the whole suit done in 7 minutes, technically.
No, I don't know about that. No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure, no pressure. All right, well, the two, let me have a look. Let me have a look, actually. The two of wands. Let's have a look. Okay, so typically depicted RWS. I had to check my imagery there. So you've got this bad boy and a dude standing with two staves, looking at the map, like holding a globe in his hand. It's nice.
Yeah.
And he's sort of like overlooking water. There's greenery. He's on a tower kind of thing. And it's important to recognize here that there is one staff on the ground and the other staff on the edge. It's depicting a transient energy. So with that said, I like the two of wands for individuation. There's a co-creative energy there with the two of wands. There is almost an internal partnership going on, a like-minded, creative, entrepreneurial driven, ambitious type of partnership, but that individuation. So from the ace you get the seed, the quintessence of the element, and then it's grounded in the two. And so the two are the feet on the ground and the creation of something. So it has a co-creative element to it, but then again, all of the suit of wands does have a co-creative element to it. It's a restless suit, so I want there to be movement and energy generated, so that when you look at the card, you depict high energy or something on the rise, on the verge. And remember, with the two, we have the three, then the four, and the four is that celebration, that salubrious energy, a highlighting of the Three of Cups, but in a fiery capacity. It's a traditional marriage card, so we're on the build up to that. And then fire is the five is the rivalry or the rivalrous depiction. So we're on the rise to something intense here. And then we start to take victorious stances and, so on and so forth as we climb up. Remember, the 10 is the heavy burden. So it's the one where the fella's climbing up the hill with all of the stacks of 10 wands on his back, and it's really heavy and it's such a bummer. It's a huge drag. Nobody wants to be the 10. But, there you go. You've got a really solid start that ends in you being like encumbered. So it's that in itself is a really huge part of the of the Suit of Wands is the fact that you start off strong and all that enthusiasm and all that energy, if it's not grounded, it leads to you being that single person that has to do it all, and then you end up with 10 rods on your back and you're fucked. So the fact of the matter is we need to start off strong to depict that story. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a fire dancer.
What?
A fire dancer, a tribal fire dancer, swinging their poi. Somebody said, "Oh, Avalon, you're a fire dancer." There must be one with the suit in there, right? Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. It could be double staves. It could be fire sticks.
You mean like juggling fire sticks?
No, like double staves. Think baton twirling, but with fire.
Right.
No, but what I'm thinking of here, how's about this? This is a little something from the fire dancer. When working with poi, with the chains, right? When working with poi, the idea is to create flow, balance, and a pattern. So if you were to take a photograph of a poi dancer while they're spinning, it should create a flower. So you can create the flower of life, for instance, or a fire flower.
Don't you have
if
a
you
photo
take a
of
snapshot?
yourself doing that?
Yes, I do.
I remember that. That was cool.
Yes, because I used to be awesome, and now I'm not that person anymore. I'm a different kind of awesome. That's when I had no kids or some kids or one kid. And now if I get my fire poi out or my fire equipment out, it's dangerous.
Do you think that it would be too similar to the Two of Pentacles at all? The fact that it's balancing two things? I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, because there's dexterity. I mean, there's dexterity in the two as well because they're juggling. But I think if we can depict the fire, if we can depict the flower, the creative aspect, so using the fire to create something, I think you'll capture a really nice message for the two. I'm so hot, my whole face is itchy. I'm not picking my nose. I'm just really itchy.
Let me look up the, you spell it poi, P-O-W?
P-O-I.
P-O-I or Y?
P-O-I.
Okay.
Like,
I'm just trying to see. Okay.
if you type in poi flowers, you'll see some really cool ones. Actually, that makes me want to do it too. So poi.
Oh, that's very pretty.
Flowers. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
There's better.
I'm being for that. I can do that.
You've got diversity right there. Yes.
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, yes, that would be cool. The Yep.
You could actually even do, let's say, maybe not that one. Maybe I'm just looking at all the fire dancing now. So you could look up double fire stuff, or you could look up contact stuff.
The only thing that might be a little tricky is that in order to depict fire, you need a pretty dark background. And we are having a sunset type background at this point, so you wouldn't be getting the, like, you need a pitch black background in order to bring out fire, to see it. It's just like if you look at if you look at a flame during the daylight, you can't really see it.
Yeah.
I can work with it. I can try and get it to be seen, but it's not going to be, unless I guess if
it's not going to work. It's because the background will be the same color as the fire.
Right. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. So that won't work. We can't change the color of the sky now, folks. The Queen has already got a setting sun in hers. The skies remain the same. The color palettes must remain the same to continue to create continuity.
Yeah,
so
and because we're not really including the actual wands, the number of wands within the cards, you do have to have some consistency throughout. So since we don't have in all the cards, you don't see swords or cups. Some cards don't have the cups in them. So you have to have consistency throughout the suit so that when you're actually dealing this, you get the cards, you kind of know what suit it's from, right? So it's based on it's like a color distinction between them. So that's why we're doing it, because we're not including all the in this case wands, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, we have the word at the bottom, but you still want to have some visual consistency throughout it.
That's right. That's exactly right. And okay, so there's the Two of Wands is the ignition of something, right?
Right.
So maybe we could keep it a little bit more simple in the sense that we could have, somebody crouched down doing the fire starting.
Where they start to work with it.
Like where they're actually starting the fire. You know, how they, traditionally make a fire by rubbing the sticks together.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Yeah, so that it's setting sun. You could have the setting sun. You could have like a bit of a tribe camp kind of setting. And then you could have, somebody there, working the fire while somebody else puts the kindling there, like close to it.
Right.
So you've got the person rubbing and then that person. So there's two people, there's two energies creating the fire. So they're unifying in a way, working together. There's that co-creative energy. So that's one idea. It's not the best. I'm not rippling with joy from that idea. So what else? What about a firefly? That would be cool.
A what? A what?
A firefly, like a nighttime firefly. Yeah.
I like fireflies.
I like fireflies as well.
But what does that say about the two of wands?
Ignition, illumination. Chase 2 owls. Before he goes, tell me about the fireflies. Laura, tell him to tell me about the fireflies. Don't go now that I need you. Oh my gosh. All right. What about?
I was thinking, like, if you had, how you see him overlooking, and he has the globe in his hands, and what if it's almost like a warrior or but who's looking over the tents of like the army, like you're getting ready, you have this setting and you're looking all over all these people.
I don't understand. Say that again.
So if usually you see the guy and he has the globe in his hands and he's looking over the field. So he's there's the boats that are coming in supposedly, right? He's a merchant and all that. Well, what if you take and you shift it and you put it in a more dynamic setting, in the sense of he's not a merchant, but he's a chief or a warrior who's overseeing his army. If he's getting ready to go to any type of battle or something, usually they'll look upon their flock, their men or whatever. And what if he's looking over that? If he's on the hilltop and looking over these tents where all his people are. Like if you
I
had
like that. I reckon we could bring that even closer, as in like a map, a primitive map, and there'd be little pawns on the map, and there could be like direct strategizing over the top of the map. So hands moving this, torch there, something a little bit closer.
Yeah. I feel like it's wands, it's action. It's like, it's not, it's more of a impulsive, you know, it's that fire nature. So I think the merchant is more calculated in my mind, but also more static, and wands are more active. So I was thinking like that's why I was thinking like a chief, someone who's taking action, but he's also organized and he's overseeing this whole thing. So like, yeah, so the map would work if they're like kind of looking over it and trying to, you know, order things.
Maybe we're looking at this a little bit too one-sided. Maybe we have to look at it a little bit more creatively. So I'm going to just start throwing some things out there and see if it sparks an idea in your eye. In your mind's eye, I mean, in your eye. You know what I mean? Okay, so fire walking. Somebody walking over coals. The traditional initiation of fire ants in the gloves. So when there's a coming to age ritual in Amazonian Indians, the sun setting over the pyramid or rising over the pyramid, either or. So very much of an eclipse kind of energy. And a smelter, like the forging of a sword. That's it. That's all I got. Didn't have anything else other than that.
The forging of the sword is a nice idea. All right, Pete, let me read. Lightning bugs.
Lightning bugs.
People are like shooting ideas.
Oh. Erin Bell said above about the poi. Erin Bell. Who's Erin? Okay. Sunset, the background, when a shadow of trees, which would be dark back. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that could work.
I mean, it could work. You could also have it within a cave. And then you have like a pitch black cave and then the hole in the background you can kind of see through, and you can see a little bit of the sky if you want to keep that in.
No, the more I think about it, it's a good idea. And I think I could include, you know, fire dancing later on in the suit. I'm not sure about the two, though, because it does feel a bit two of pentacles in its two-handed juggle. It's very balanced and dexterity oriented.
Right. That's why I was.
So there is that. There's a thing there. So I'm not sure.
All right. Well, here I sketched out the. Where is it? No, I lost it. I had the snake sketched out while you guys were. I was doodling something. Okay. So this is the ace. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like that.
So this
I like
is
that a lot.
Okay. So you have smoke, the ember here, and then smoke, and then it's kind of like forming, and he's going back.
Yeah.
Okay. Who came up with this idea? Tarot Alchemist? Was it Tarot?
Tiger's Abyss said Ouroboros. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a good one. What about a snake charmer? You know, someone that actually like You know when when someone that looks in the snake's eyes and the taipan's like, there's that unity, there's that hovering, like eye of eye.
Yeah.
That could be a definite too.
The only thing is you have the snake for the ace, and then you have a snake for the twos. It's like you're putting in the snake as the element of the sword of the suit.
Yeah, that's true too. This is harder than I thought.
Well, here's what you were saying about. So you said if you had the people working on a fire, like creating the fire, right? Setting the fire. So, okay, rough sketches, people. So bear with me here. Like you could have the stick in the middle, and then them kind of tending to it. That would be like a joint effort thing.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility. And then we said a chief, or you said, oh, sorry, the snake charmer.
Yeah, I said there's just the snake charmer, just the faces of the snake charmer, just their faces like this.
Oh, you're just saying it like a really up close.
Yeah, kind of like quite an up close with enough space so that you can see the sky in the background, but like two.
But like the two images of the. Do they usually have they sing, right? They sing from a
the horn, the thingy, the flute.
Right.
They do, don't they? Hang on, I'm gonna Google snake charmers now. Wow, this is gonna be fun. Images. Oh yeah.
Does it?
Is that a bassoon? There's a really okay. That's not gonna work. That is not going to work. Yeah, they're usually just like singing to it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Now, I think if it's not comfortable, this is going to be the same case as the Four of Cups. If it doesn't spark the joy immediately, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay, think of animals that are fire related.
Well, there's a salamander. Salamander is fire. It's fiery.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what if it's like two things that, because it's about the two, right? It's also about the number, the two things that are coming together to form something. Because this is if you have the spark and then the element of the two that are creating something. So what if you have, either two animals forming a different shape or, like something that is not just
Griffin.
What?
Laura said the griffin.
Oh, the griffin.
Yeah. You could have a dragon there. You could have a dragon egg. You could have no, see that's too much like the ace then. Any egg componentry is going to be too much like the ace. And any dragon.
You don't have the egg in the ace. You have the snake now.
Yeah,
but I think that I still think that it should be overlooking something that's built, like it's being built.
Yeah, could be. let's read a bit more of the description, a wider description of, I'm going to Google this.
What about using I just read Caden Matthews, he mentioned the word spider. What if it's actually the spider that is working on a web?
Oh, I like that.
But it's making a web that is like, you can have the web, but it can be either a plain web or it can be like, you have to do something a little different. Like pick a spider. It really would depend on the spider that you're picking. If you do pick a spider that you can create your own spider, you've introduced runes throughout the deck, so maybe you can create a spider that has a particular rune on it, on its back. You know how you have the Black Widow spider that has that symbol on it? Or what if you just create a spider, like have a spider, but incorporate a rune to symbolize what the Two of Wands does?
I don't know how to symbolize the Two of Wands in runes though, because I can think fire as in Kenaz.
You don't have to. That was just thought.
No, you got me thinking. Let's have a look at this for a second.
Have the flame spider. Make it the fire spider. There's no fire spider out there, by the way.
Maybe the spider is spinning a flaming web.
That would be, it won't look like a flame when you spin it.
I'm just having a little bit of a look-see here.
Arachne. Right.
I'm thinking there's not too much diversity in the Two of Wands. I'm just looking here online. There's not really a lot of diversity.
That's what I'm saying.
I
think that the spider web and because the spider is planning. He's putting together the web. He's planning. He's going to catch some really neat things in there.
Don't type in fire spider. Just don't do that. It's actually really creepy. What about a jack-o'-lantern with two eyes, iridescent? Sorry, it's Halloween. I had to go.
I'm too close to Halloween right now.
Future planning, progress, decisions, discovery. So yeah, we know this. I'm looking for something interesting though, like really interesting. Okay. So it's future planning. I've got advancement and ignition, individuation, and the plan, right? What about, no, that's too complicated. I vetoed that right out straight away. Because fire is the other element, right? So it's magic. There's an element of magic to fire. And it needs to be, fire is something that you need someone to create. It has to be ignited in some way.
Look up the jewel spiders.
Jewel spiders. Great, because fire spider wasn't cutting it.
Here,
jewel is in like ruby, as in precious stones.
Jewel. Yeah. I'm gonna send you this because it looks freaky.
Holy shit! What? Oh, that's so rad. That looks really mean. That spider looks really mean.
I just sent you a spider.
You just sent me a spider.
Right.
Fabulous. Oh my gosh. That looks so mean. Where is that native to?
Here, supposedly.
Ah,
In the US.
I like it. Spiders that look like. I'm in a really interesting spot now too.
But anyway, yeah, I think that.
Yeah, we're not going to get this today. I don't think we're going to get this today.
Well, we're going to get it once we get offline.
Yeah, wait to see. As soon as we get offline, boom. Plus, we've been online for ages now. So, I think we must bring this
Wait, you have to
live chat.
you have to launch the stuff.
I've done it. I rang my bell.
You turned you already. Wait. What does that mean?
I rang my bell. The listings are now live, just in case anyone didn't understand my bell reference. But I did mention that I would be ringing the bell when the listing went live. Laura notified everyone I saw. It's like, they're live. It's live. The listings are live. So we had all of that going on. All right. Skulls with the flames inside. Yes. Oh, here we go. What about lion, dragon, salamander, snakes, coyote, fox? Fox would actually be a really good one. Mantis, scorpion. Scorpion would be a really good one. Phoenix, ram, and squirrel.
Squirrel.
A rune in the web.
I think
chimera.
A rune in the web would work, but
I beg your pardon?
I think a rune in the web would work.
A rune in the web would work. I just don't know which rune.
Or a sigil.
That's something for investigation, though. That is something for investigation.
Or a sigil.
It's the right spider. I have a special affinity with the golden silk orb weaver, which we had in the Fool card, but it was so tiny.
Right.
I want to see it because it's got really nice stripes on it.
It's the yellow one with the, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would have looked at it a number of times and seen quite creepy images of it. Yeah, it's striped, it's yellow, it's really, really cool. And they have ginormous webs, like giant webs. I actually walked into a web when I was walking through Kakadu and I didn't realize. And I looked to one side, I was powering forward and I walked into this web, which was right across the path, a giant web right across the path. And it was that strong that I actually bounced off it. And then did the dance. Is it on me? Is it on me? Is it on me? Is it on me?
Like that. Oh my God. I would just, that's it. I would have been in therapy for a week for that.
It's not so bad. It's not so bad. Once I looked and I could see the spiders still there, but you know, you've got that feeling. Once you hit a web, you're like, is it on me? Doesn't matter. If you might not even be worried about spiders. I'm not that scared of spiders. But I don't want one on me at the same time. I don't want one crawling on my arm. My daughter had a daddy long legs crawling on her foot today. And this is my baby girl. And she's like, I don't like it. And she sort of just kicked it off with her foot. Meanwhile, my eldest daughter's like, there's a daddy long legs on her foot. There's a daddy long legs on her foot. She's a meter away from her having this full-on reaction where Serenity, the 2-year-old, just goes, I don't like that, and brushes it off, you know? So people are very weird when it comes to spiders, as most things. I'm thinking I need to get my creative juices going. We've been streaming for too long, and I did like a couple of readings before I even started.
Kelly just texted me. Rune Kanaz is flame or torch.
Yes, which would have been my logical one, but it's simply flame or torch. You know what I mean? So it would have to be a bind rune, a flame or torch to depict some kind of, you know, creative, planning, strategic kind of thing. It would have to be a bind rune. If
you use, you know, the other thing is you can use the web as a connecting of two things. Like if it's like connecting two bridges, or if it's building, it's the
what about a bridge?
What
about a bridge?
Out of this with a web?
What about like a Norse bridge, like the Bifrost?
The Bifrost.
That could be cool. And then that is kind of, that's a connecting energy, right? That's a creative connecting energy. Is there further associations? I'm not a Sartre, nor am I a heathen. So, Bifrost. Bifrost sometimes Bifrost. Burning rainbow bridge that reaches between Midgard, Earth, and Asgard, the realm of the gods, which we knew this. I think that could be dangerous. It could be really cool, though. It's going to come to us. All right, kids, we're going to have to call it a day/night. I have food to eat and coffee to drink. So you don't want coffee? You want bed to have?
Too late. If I drink it now, I won't be able to wake up.
We've had some great ideas, and I just really want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and for those who've participated in the second round launch. It's a big deal for me. I've been planning this for a while now. I actually started planning it weeks after the first launch because people were like, it sold out so quickly, we didn't have enough. And I thought, oh, I think I'm being too conservative. So I had that was a transformation for myself. So I really appreciate your patience. I appreciate your understanding as this process unfolds. There are some people that really want the Bifrost. Yes. The dwarf creating a Thor's hammer. Oh, that's a cool one. Oh, we've got some heathens here, obviously. All right. So, folks, if you have any questions, don't ask me. No, I'm kidding. I have tried to respond to as many questions as I can, and I've tried to also put a list of responses in the Bonestone Earthflesh Tarot group. So if you have any of those common questions, have a look. If you don't have any of those common questions, then message me privately, and I will try to get to you. Just know that I've already got hundreds of emails waiting for me to actually look at right now, and I don't want to sound like an asshole when I say that, but it's just me. I'm one person. My husband's away in Cambodia at the moment. I don't have anybody else helping me, so I have to do this slowly on my own. You know, today is one of those rare days where I don't have children with me because they're all in care and school. So tomorrow will be a very different story. So please just be patient and understand that I do as well as I can. Anna's doing as well as she can. She moves through things much faster than I do because she has the capacity to stay up late at night. It hits 8 o'clock at night here. I'm usually up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I'm dead, face planting my pillow by 8:30. I'm waiting for the kids to go to bed so I can go to bed, but usually I'm eating dinner like this. I'm so tired, go to sleep. I'm so tired, go to sleep. And they're all like, yay, Mom, we want to watch a movie. And I'm like, no. All right. So, Anna, is there anything that you would like to say?
Oh, no, I think we covered it, except thank you. Thanks for all the input. And see, we already have a card with a second card with somebody's input tonight. So
yeah, we've got a lot of cards to create as well because we've envisioned the suit of cups. There's a lot of creating going on there as well. So perhaps it's good if we just, you know, take our time with the start of this one and, you know, keep all of your ideas in motion. And of course, feel free to please add your ideas in the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot group. In fact, what I'm going to do right now so that I don't forget is create a post. Oh, I'm like, where did that spider come from? And it came from Anna. Here we go with, oh, a celebration of the fiery wand suits. That's awesome. I've got one for you too, Anna. Just saw something really cool then. Discussion. So this is what I'm going to do. Maybe caps lock. Ideas for the 2 of Wands. Yeah. It's all in caps, so it sounds like I'm shouting at you, but it wouldn't be a suit of wands if there wasn't any kind of grandiose. Okay, so I have put a post on the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot group with ideas for the 2 of Wands here, and I spelled wands singular, not plural, so now I have to fucking edit the post, right?
You just sent me something?
I send you something?
I didn't get it.
Not yet, but I will. I'm about to send you something.
Oh.
Did you send me something? Oh no, I already checked that. The message that I got from you didn't look like. Hello. Forward to Anna. Send. Now I've sent you something, which is a little bit cool.
That's pretty cool.
And it was just sent to me. Did you get it?
Yeah. Yep. It's cool. Problem is the background.
Yeah, again, it's a background issue. So I've put a post up on the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot group. I'm just going to put the Bonestone group. I'm just going to say that from now on because the name of the deck is quite long. So the Bonestone group has a post. If you have ideas for the 2 of Wands, list your ideas. I'm going to be going over those ideas. I probably won't respond to all of them, but I am going to be reading them all. And ideas for animals, ideas for alternative thoughts. Google the 2 of Wands, have a look, see what's out there, see what you see really what catches your attention, and then start typing them out. And Anna and I can then begin to go over them, have a look at it, and perhaps conceptualize something, while we're marinating on these ideas. So that will be great. Let's use that group, for good constructive and creative means. And that's it. That's it.
Yay.
We've got it all. Yay.
Yep.
Thanks to everyone for joining. Wishing you happy, blessed Samhain and a happy and blessed Beltane. Your time spent with us here is deeply appreciated, and we hope to be able to deliver you with a top quality product that is well thought out, creative, individual, and just all round amazing. So we are trying very hard at doing that, and we're exhausted. Oh, another thing, I've deactivated all of my other listings. So all of my other readings have been deactivated just for the purpose of this launch. I didn't want to jumble up the listings. You have no idea how difficult that was for me last time, just to keep on top of everything. And also I'm going to be going away this weekend, so if you're trying to get a hold of me, I'm going to have a whole week off. I've got a wedding to go to. I'm connecting with rallies as well, so I'm going to be out of reach. I'm not even going to really be looking at my messages, just to give myself a bit of a break and see my hubby again, because I haven't seen him for about 2.5 weeks. He's been in Cambodia and he's at a yoga retreat having the time of his life right now. So I'm going to be very busy in the next, let's just say the next 2 weeks. So by the time Anna and I are back, hopefully we have a 2.
Yeah. And
who knows? We may have other cards. I can't promise anything.
Also the more of the cups.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll be doing some cups work, and that's going to take a lot of work to really get the colors right and to get well, actually, no, because all the ideas are there. It turned out to be quite fluid. So let's see how we go. All right, kids, look after yourselves. Wishing you guys so much love, luck, peace, and joy. Coughing my heart out. Anna?
Yes?
Anything?
No. Bye, guys.
See ya. Look after yourselves. Take care. Be kind to each other.